Hi, my name is Art Root. I own Lots of Art Tattoo here in Tumuning next to GPO and Biology. I'm a master tattoo artist. I've been tattooing professionally for 22 years. Well, growing up, I started experimenting in tattoos when I was 13 years old. Me and my friends were kicking back in school, and the idea just kind of came to my head that I wanted to open up a tattoo shop. I have a friend of mine, his name is Lawrence. They call him Lots. That's his nickname. I was like, hey, I'm gonna open up a tattoo shop. You wanna, be a part of that. You wanna be with me when I do it. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. And then we're just kind of like trying to come up with a name. One of my friends goes, yeah, I just call it Lots and Art, right? And I said, oh man, that sounds kind of corny. So, we'll try Lots of Art. And I liked it, so I kept that. I love what I do. I love my family, and most importantly, I love God. So those are the three main things that I hold dear in my life. I always wanted to be a tattoo artist, so I would try to experiment, and I was teaching myself how to do it. There was no formal education out there. Wanting to be a tattoo artist was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. And especially here in Guam, we only have one shop open, and I used to be the little kid that would hide behind the counter, and I was so short that my eyes would just be right at the top of the counter, and I'd be sneaking in, and they didn't allow kids in tattoo shops, so every time he'd catch me looking, I burst out the door, right? But when I started tattooing, I'm self-taught, so everything I've learned up until then was pretty much what I picked up on my own. I didn't really know the history or the background of safe tattooing. I went to a tattoo convention, and one of the guys that I made friends with was Jack Rudy, and he kind of just like took me on. He was like, hey, you know what, you gotta go and check out this seminar, because this seminar is gonna teach you how to do proper sterilization, and how to keep your shop clean, and keep you clean, and keep your customers safe. And he was an advocate. He was a starting advocate for safe tattooing back then. I've been, every year I go back and I attend these training, and then I come back home, and then I would apply that into my shop. And I've been doing that for so many years that I thought it was important that I share that knowledge with other tattooers, because other shops are starting to open up. We didn't all start off right. I didn't start off with a business plan. Like every business should, start off with a business plan. I made my first tattoo machine when I was 13. I made it out of homemade equipments like a Walkman motor, a lead pen, guitar string, and then sharpen it up to make it nice and sharp. My first experience, my cousins used to bring me to the house, and they were like, hey, yeah, let's go, we're gonna do tattoos. Everybody was drinking and having a good time, and the guy that was doing the tattoos kind of got really drunk, so they asked me, hey Art, since you drew the design, maybe you can be the one to finish it and tattoo it. He just started lining the hat, and then I was finishing it off, but every time I was tattooing, the ink was getting everywhere. I couldn't see. I didn't know what I was doing. So I wiped the whole thing after I was done lining everything out, and next thing I was like, oh no. The eyes were solid black, the nose was solid black, the mouth was solid black, and it was like this girl turned out to be a skull. But the guy was so drunk that after I wiped it off, and he looked at it, he goes, oh man, this is exactly what I wanted. I was like, ooh. So I threw my machine in my bag, and I went to school, and it just so happened it was show and tell. My teacher's like, oh, do you have anything to show and tell for today? And I was like, oh yeah, I do. I have an electric pen. I thought it was gonna be a joke, right? Just because I'm a joker. That's the reason why I had the Joker as my logo. And so I got up in front of the class, and I said, I need a volunteer. And I took out the needle, and I drew a little cross in this girl's hand. I never went to art school. My art teacher, Mrs. Flores, she was a very inspirational person when I was growing up, because she would always tell me, draw with your heart, draw with your mind. Closer towards the time of when I need to hang up my machine and retire, I think I want to teach people how to do tattoos. I think for me, if you can be comfortable in the art that you're creating, then you're actually creating art.